Welcome to That 80s Show, and it's time to get with the program, Dori.
The program?
I like to add songs to the program.
I love it when you start the show with a completely inside joke that nobody is going to understand unless they were where we were on Saturday.
Well, we were where we were, and we were going to tell you how we were. What a good time we had. Oh, Dori, you may be listening to That 80s Show. I'm going to slowly fade out this music. Slowly fade it out. Because you might be listening and go, why do I hear a warm glow? You know, a glow?
Yeah.
Like, and go, did Paulo and Dori go swim in an old age home with some elderly people and aliens? And now they're the glowing aliens. From Cocoon,
nice reference.
Right?
Nice, got it.
No, that's not the glow.
Mm-mm.
And then you go, did you perhaps hang out with Bruce Leroy and Shonuff and subsequently yourself get the glow a la Last Dragon?
Nice.
Right? No. We got a third 80s glow.
Yes.
Okay, settle in, kids. Listen, I'm going to give you a warning here. If you do not love Thomas Anders in Modern Talking,
switch off now.
Don't switch off, like skip ahead. You can skip ahead on a podcast. Just skip ahead till when we're not talking about this. So probably like skip ahead 45 minutes.
Yeah, about.
Okay. Dori and I love Thomas Anders.
Yeah.
I mean, we loved him for a long time.
Yes.
Then we met him via interview, via Zoom.
Yes.
About 2 years ago. Loved him even more. So, of course,
we did not think we could love him more.
No.
And then.
What a nice guy. Even when we met him on the interview. Fantastic guy. Tells great stories. Hangs out with Sandra holidays. Summers with her in Ibiza. I mean, and then, of course, I get a bit obsessed with him. Anything that he sells, I want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Speises, wines, advent calendars. If he sells it, I'm buying it.
Right.
Of course, he sells concert tickets. So he comes to South Africa. We're very excited. We're going to go watch Thomas Anders and the Modern Talking Band.
Right.
If you want to know why it's the Modern Talking Band, go back, listen to our show. It's just Thomas Anders, not the other blonde guy.
Yeah, he's irrelevant.
We are definitely Team Thomas. Dieter haters for life. Hashtag Dieter haters for life. Us. So, in South Africa, Gauteng, where we live, the big concert venue, not the big concert venue, the mid-sized concert venue, but that they have a lot of concerts there, is the Sunbed Arena in Pretoria. You ever been there?
It was my first time, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Great venue.
It's
an indoor venue. It's next to a casino, but like it's 10 or 12,000 seater, around about. They're not massive.
It reminded me of the Sun City Super Bowl.
It is 100% Sun City Super Bowl.
And that was one of the greatest venues. I don't know if it's still around. I don't know if anything happens there.
No, Sun City Super Bowl is now a Nando's.
Really?
Yes.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
When last did you go to Sun City?
Oh, so many years ago.
Sun City, like if you're an international listener, was kind of like not technically in South Africa.
Yeah, but most people know about Sun City. Yeah,
but it was like this resort that a guy built, kind of like South Africa's Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of international acts would come perform there.
Yes.
Because it technically was in South Africa. And it was super close, like a 2-hour drive.
Because of the sanctions, just to give it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Modern Talking.
2-hour drive from Joburg. Yeah. Modern Talking. I saw there. Modern Talking as a young teen at the Sun City Super Bowl.
Yeah, 1988. Huh?
Yes.
88, right? Yes. 86, 88?
No, it was 88.
88, right? So the Sunbed Arena, I've been there a couple of times now. I think it's my third concert there. It's a great venue. You get in and out. It's a venue for grown-ups. Good sound. Organization's fantastic. Good chairs. Yeah. No matter where you are in the arena, I've sat in different places.
You can see
great view of the stage and hear.
Yes.
Sound is very good.
Yeah.
Okay, great venue. Lovely venue. So we go there. And so Dori.
Let's start from the beginning, Paulo.
It's a good place to start.
Yes.
I just want to throw a shout out to Kurt Darren.
I was getting there.
He's got to get a mention, right?
We're going to talk about Darren.
You know, Kurt Darren, if you don't know, South African artist, phenomenally successful. But does this guy not know his audience and what sells a record? But predominantly does Afrikaans music.
Yeah.
For an Afrikaans audience, but
and Pretoria is his town.
That is his town.
It's his town.
Does he not know how to tap into that?
But let's go to even before Kurt Darren.
Dori's going even before Kurt Darren.
There was a lady. Her name was Demi-Leigh.
Yeah.
She also sings in a little bit of Afrikaans, but she also does covers. Pretty blonde lady. I don't get it.
She's an opening act. She's very talented.
People seem to love her.
Yeah.
People seem to love her. I'm like, good for you.
You know what the crazy thing about the two opening acts was? Is that normally an opening act, like, who ever watches an opening act?
Yeah.
You know, unless you're real, and because you're getting the beers and you're getting, no, specifically for Kurt Darren, everyone was seated.
A lot of people were there more for Kurt Darren.
I'm telling you.
Of course.
I am so telling you the majority, because he performed as long as Thomas Anders.
Yes.
Majority of people were there for Kurt Darren. But he was in the crowd at one point. People were
he gets off the stage and he
back.
goes up to, because it was seated, no standing, because we're all old now.
I know, you must.
Seated, but people stood up and stood next to him as he was singing and took video selfies.
The security were very, very concerned.
Very unhappy.
They were very concerned by this. But that's Kurt Darren. That's what he does.
He is the singer of the people.
Well done to him. He knows his audience.
Paulo, I don't want to sound snobby, but it was a little bit of a culture shock for me, that concert.
You did say so.
It was, because I have many Afrikaans friends, but I've discovered different types of Afrikaans people.
Oh, yeah.
And my Afrikaans friends are not the type that will go and langarm, soki.
Yeah, no,
at the concert.
I grew up in the West Rand. None of that was out of place for me.
So you were not surprised by what you saw. I was extremely surprised that there were people, langarm, let's just say like old-fashioned dancing. I don't know how to, where you like dance, almost like a waltz kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's like a very fast.
Very fast, yeah.
It's
a very big thing in the Afrikaans music arena. But it was young people doing it as well, like old people.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
It was also young people.
Yeah.
And they just got up and they did it during the show, even during Demi-Leigh.
They found space.
They just
dancing.
got up and they couldn't stop. They could not restrain themselves, Paulo.
It's like these spirits of the dromedaris of Jan van Riebeck's boat entered them. And they were just like, we are captured by the music.
It was interesting. It was interesting. And then I had an experience because I wanted to go and buy some mini donuts.
Yes.
Mini donuts are one of the joys of a concert. You go and you buy a little tray of mini donuts.
Pay 200 Rand for 6.
It was literally ridiculously expensive for 4 tiny little donuts. But anyway. But of course there was a queue because people love the mini donuts. And this was just before the show actually started. So we got there quite early and like the show hadn't started yet. So I thought, I'll quickly go and buy. And there was a queue. And there was a tall Afrikaans gentleman standing behind me in the queue. And he starts talking to me in Afrikaans. And I'm like, hey, please, my Afrikaans isn't that amazing. I mean, I could understand him. But then I didn't want to then talk back to him in English because I can understand it way better than I can speak it. So I was like, can we talk English? He's telling me all about Demi-Leigh. And he's singing her songs. And he's talking about Kurt. And then he says to me, do you remember Noot vir Noot?
Wow.
And I said, I do. I do indeed remember Noot vir Noot. And at that point, he put his arm around my shoulder and he went, hey, 50 rand vir die tannie. Honestly, one of the highlights of the night for me.
That is amazing.
It was so funny.
That's amazing.
So funny.
Noot vir Noot.
Yeah.
Johan Stemmet.
Johan Stemmet.
That was
the man with the loud shirts. It was a music game show on South African TV.
Huge.
For the longest time.
Huge.
It might still be on. Who knows?
I definitely think it
I don't know.
I definitely think it could still be on.
It might still be on. The last time I watched it, his shirts had gotten not as loud.
Okay.
They weren't as brightly colored.
We're in HD now. Can you imagine? Because back then it was like, pre-SD. Okay. So he had to stand out. Now he's wearing those shirts in HD. He's breaking the digital spectrum.
So this is the thing, is that I had seen those kind of people on Noot for Noot my
didn't
whole
think they
life.
existed.
I didn't think they existed in real life, and then I was among them in real life on Saturday, which was wow. It was just wow.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
No,
I
I'm not
love
saying it
Afrikaans
wasn't.
people.
It wasn't
They're
a
so
bad thing.
festive.
That's what I'm saying. It was so fascinating
Yeah.
to me.
They're
And it was
so
just a
festive.
completely different night out for me.
I'll tell you something. My wife made the comment. She said, we don't often spend a lot of time around that many Afrikaans people. I literally feel like I'm in a different country.
I also did not feel like I was in the same...
Because no one's speaking English.
No. You feel like maybe you're in a small country in Europe.
Yeah.
Or somewhere near Germany, perhaps.
Or Oranje. But that's for another time. This is not a political show.
Well, after that, I think I could go to Oranje and be less culture shocked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But listen, so that's why they got the opening acts right, because they knew, listen, who is legitimately going to remember Thomas Anders that well? Okay.
You mean aside from us?
Right? So they thought, okay, to guarantee sales, we got to put him with someone like Kurt Darren, Demi-Leigh, and it worked. Okay, it looked pretty sold out to me.
Yeah.
Looked pretty sold out.
No, it was pretty sold out. It was pretty full.
And so that's...
And Kurt Darren impressed me. Not my kind of thing. I'm not going to go buy the music.
Now, how old's Kurt Darren?
40-something?
Late 40s?
I assume, maybe.
Mid to late 40s?
I could check.
He did this like little hip thrust thing, and I just
my God,
having flashbacks to Hugh Grant in Music and Lyrics when he's doing that wham,
God.
That little move that they did.
That little hip flex was unexpected.
Hip replacement by 60. He carries on like that. He's got to be.
You can see why he is as popular as he is, because that's his signature move, right?
No, and Kurt Darren is definitely a guy that's ideal son-in-law material. Right? You want little Sari Marais bringing Kurt Darren home, and the whole family. He's drinking with the uncles.
Some brandewijn.
He's having cook sisters with the tannies.
Mitesh.
A little bit of touch in the front yard with the kindertjies. The kinders.
Yeah.
Kurt Darren's ideal son-in-law, but
he is 54.
Okay.
Looks good.
It looks fantastic.
Looks good.
Ice that hip, Kurt. Ice that hip. I think Celeb Savant's spoken to him I'm pretty sure.
No, he hasn't yet. I asked.
Okay.
But he wants to. So I'm going to put them in touch because I have access to Darren.
People ice the hip. It's for our... Elton John iced hips. If you want to go into your 80s like Elton John, ice your hips. That's what I'm saying. So now it brings us to Thomas Anders, right?
Right.
Now, gripes. Not for Thomas, for the audience.
Yes.
Now, I'm convinced majority of people there were there for Kurt Darren. And kind of the songs that they knew. Right?
Yes.
Things that I heard the other people in the audience say. He sounds Danish. How do you sound Danish? He's German, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
How do you sound?
What does Danish sound like?
Even when he says, I am German or something Germany, oh, German. Still sounds Danish.
Did they not know? They didn't know where he was from?
So he starts out with some of his newer songs. Of course, we listen.
Yes. Some of them were cool.
People don't know. No idea what's going on. No idea. Only when he starts doing the better well. But he has different arrangements to them.
Yes.
He's playing with a different band.
Yes.
Okay, no. We've got to
Let's
break off
talk about the band.
Now, of course, you tour for years. You got to have a band. We know Dieter. He's ditched Dieter. So he's got a new band. 2 guys. 1 guy, pretty tall guy, bald head.
3, there was a drummer as well.
There's a drummer.
Yes.
People with bald heads, no one pay attention to them. You can't be good looking with a bald head. Get out of here.
Says Paulo, who has a bald head.
No one looks at you when you got a bald head. Get out of here. Then drummer, young guy.
Long hair,
space-style glasses.
Very
good drummer.
cool looking. Very good, yeah.
Powerful drummer. Very good drummer. Ooh, but then there was the second guitar player.
Well, the guitar player, because I think the other guy was the bassist.
The bass player, yes.
Yes, the guitar player.
The guitar player. Ooh, what a dashing man.
Whoa.
What a dashing man that was.
Like, you think that you're only going to have eyes for Thomas, but at some point your eyes flick to the side.
And they stay there. I'm not going to lie.
Because, wow. Wow.
And they come out, they're wearing like suits, right? Suit jackets, suit pants.
They look good.
He gets hard, he takes it off. Shirt buttoned down to the navel. I mean, could you even call that a button shirt? You know?
In Europe, perhaps.
In Europe. Playing guitar. Didn't break a sweat. Good looking guy.
Yeah.
Good looking guy. Don't remember his name. Just pure eye candy.
No idea.
Me. Pure eye candy.
I will Google.
Thomas comes out. His outfit.
Yes.
Lovely checked pants.
Tapered.
Tapered, of course.
Tapered.
Amazing little black moccasins with kind of the sneaker sole.
Oh, you would notice the shoes.
Of course,
You
I
would.
noticed the shoes.
Yes.
I did see photos from it. He wore the same outfit when he performed in Cape Town because this whole experience happened in Cape Town
Yes.
2 nights before. Thomas doesn't change his outfit the whole show, hour and a half.
Right.
Which
Surprised you?
Taylor Swift, 13 or 14 outfit changes during a show.
Oh my God, who cares?
Do like Thomas, get the perfect outfit. You don't have to change.
If we can just
He had the perfect
go off on a
outfit.
little bit of a tangent on this, good Darren's outfit could have done with some work.
Yeah, but it's casual vibes, casual.
The person I was with, I was sitting with a friend of a friend. I suppose by now I could say we're friends.
You go to a concert with someone you're friends.
You're friends, right? She said, oh my God, could he not have dressed better for the occasion? Those were her words. She thought he looked schlumpy.
Okay.
He did look a bit schlumpy. He did. His jeans were
Got to take the feedback.
ill-fitting, let's say.
Okay.
His shirt was okay. It was average. It was an average black shirt. He didn't look like he had put in the effort to be the support act for the gentleman of music.
I think that's the thing.
You know?
He wasn't, because Thomas Anders goes by the name
Yes.
Gentleman of Music.
Yes.
So if
But
you...
Darren looked like he'd pitched up from the brine.
Wow.
He did.
Big words from
But-
Dori for Kurt.
Still so much love.
So there's caring words from me.
National treasure.
Ask the hip.
National
Dori
treasure.
saying,
Fix the outfit.
okay.
Just some fresh jeans.
Okay.
Different. I don't know.
You can't compare him to Thomas. You
We
can't
can't,
compare
we
it
can't.
to German haute couture. You know?
Yeah, no.
Those guys are wearing Hugo Boss. Right? Hugo Boss was German.
Was he?
Designed the Nazis' outfits. You know this? Did you not know this?
I did not know this.
Hugo Boss designed the Nazis' outfits.
So how does Hugo Boss still think?
Hey, reparations, I don't know. But that's true.
Wow.
I'm not going to do the research. I just want to make the scandalous statement.
Okay.
Go research
what if,
yourself.
What if you're wrong?
I promise you it is true.
Okay.
I'll Google that right now. Terrible programming. I'm telling you it's true.
Okay. He's doing it. While Paulo Googles the factoid that may or may not be true, I want to start talking about the music because otherwise this really is going to take the whole show.
Hugo Boss did not design the SS uniforms. They were designed by artist Carl Dipschitz.
What?
Honestly, the name. And graphic designer Walter Heck. Both members of the SS with input from Hitler. Hugo Boss manufactured these uniforms. Same thing.
No.
He still made them.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
He made them.
Still involved. Absolutely.
Why didn't he get cancelled? But anyway, so not wrong. Hashtag not wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
So then, so he does a few newer songs and then he brings out You Can Win If You Want. That was the first big modern talking hit.
I've got to tell you what I loved.
Yes.
His little PowerPoint presentation in the back. Okay, so first, in between acts,
Yes.
it's got his storefront. Do you
Yes.
see like all the items?
All the merch.
You could buy the merch. There was no merch stand because I would definitely have bought.
And Barrett was also looking
was
for
no
a merch
merch
stand.
stand.
But then I saw people wearing merch. So where did they get
Where
it?
did they get that merch?
Maybe they bought it online.
Damn it! Like
Maybe we missed the merch stand. But then it was in a bad place if that's the case.
no, there was nowhere. There was no merch stand.
Yeah, because we walked around. I walked
Yeah.
around that outside of that arena a while.
Yeah.
There was no merch stand.
There was no merch because I would have bought some merch.
Lots of food.
But when you can win when you want.
Yeah.
Did you see the little graphic in the back?
Remind me.
It's a casino, slot machines. They were all related to his songs.
Oh, God, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, when they played Jet Airliner.
That I
Well,
remember.
airport
I
board.
do remember the airport thing. Yes, I do remember that.
It's so great. I love it.
So, yes, of course, the crowd responds better to the
hits.
the modern talking hits.
The treffers.
The treffers.
Again, complaints about the crowd. They would sit like, I'm sure you're the same. You know the song from like straight away, especially the big ones,
Yes.
even the medium-sized ones. And people would sit there listening till Kanye gets to the chorus. Oh, I know this one. Like literally the idiots who next to me were saying, oh, I know this one. So why are you here? If you don't know any of his songs, what are you doing here? You paid money. You paid money for this to sit here and be confused. It's like, I did that at university. I'm not doing that again.
Okay, so you had some very annoying people next to you. We had some very interesting people next to us.
Morons next to me.
We had some interesting people next to
Block
us.
P. Morons.
Okay. Yeah. But Paulo, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna race ahead to the highlight of the show that blew us all away. We were not expecting. He did a couple of covers. I love it when a band does covers and makes them their own and does stuff with them and there's a reason behind it. When I saw the band Bush, they did Break On Through by The Doors. It was excellent.
Good stuff.
Excellent. He starts with Losing My Mind, which was a song made popular by Liza Minnelli in the 80s, but it's actually an older song than that. And it segues into, and it is unmistakable. You hear those notes
straight away
on the keyboard, and you know it is Suburbia by Pet Shop Boys. My favorite Pet Shop Boys song.
Agreed, same.
And it was like, what's happening?
Do you know? But again, I'm telling you, 3% of the people in there knew what he was doing. Like I reckon us and the band were the only people that knew what he was doing.
Well, I'll tell you, since the concert, I went looking on YouTube, and he has done this before. Okay. It's not a new thing. This is something he does.
No, because he talks about how much he loves the Pet Shop Boys. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So this is something he does at his live shows regularly. But I had no idea. It was the most pleasant surprise. It was fantastic.
I mean, Thomas Anders. Now listen, do you know Modern Talking did a version of Last Christmas?
I think you've told me this.
We told about.
Yes.
It's not, I don't have anything against it. I'm just like, don't. It's kind of like writing your own Bible. You know what I mean? So for Thomas Anders to do my favorite or our favorite Pet Shop Boys, phenomenal. The fact that nobody knew.
Really well.
Really well.
Really well.
And I'm telling you, everyone sat there and go, oh, because they know the song. They know he's from the 80s. They just thought he sang it.
Yeah. Nobody put two and two together.
Anyway, totally wasted.
Totally. Also, Losing My Mind is one of my favorite old songs. It's just a great song. Hey. And it's been done many times by many different people. He did it justice. Okay. He did a good job.
You yourself and Barrett seemed very happy about that. I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
He went through all the classics.
He did.
He did all the songs. For an encore. Oh,
encore
wait. What about the program?
Oh, the program.
The program.
We need to talk about the program because that was great.
The best was his little interludes, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, he sings like a ballady song, but he comes in between. He talks, I want to talk to you about this thing. It's called a mobile. And it's got a lamp. And you put the lamp, you makes a great atmosphere. And
everybody held up their phones with torches.
A nice atmosphere.
And it really made me think back to the 80s when everyone held up their lighters.
It was a nice atmosphere. And then, yes, he tells us that, no, he's, this is part of his tour. He keeps adding songs onto it.
Yes, and he experiments.
He experiments to change the program.
See if it fits with the program.
The program, if you like it, he adds to the program.
Yeah.
And then he did a cappella version of You're My Heart, You're My Soul.
Well, a very toned down acoustic version.
Acoustic version.
Remember the beautiful guitarist was there.
Yes, acoustic version.
Very acoustic version, which was beautiful. And I thought, wow, if this is the only rendition we hear, it's fine.
Very
but
happy.
I knew it wasn't going to be the only rendition we would hear.
Encore, and we knew he's going to do an encore because you go, well, you haven't done...
He hasn't done the big songs that everyone's there
Brother
for.
Louis.
Yeah.
Cherry Lady, as they call it in Pretoria.
Geronimo's Cadillac.
And Yamaha
Yamasoul.
Yeah, so, and that was his encore.
And it was amazing.
Multi-song encore.
Amazing.
Fantastic. So that is 24 minutes about Thomas Anders.
Less than I thought we would do.
But like we want to give you an experience.
And if you were there, then you know. And if you weren't, now you know.
Best part?
Mm-hmm.
Great venue. We were out of the concert, out of the venue, in our car, on the road within 10 minutes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Unlike your favorite other venue, Marks Park, which sometimes you do take a while to get out of there.
But day drinking.
Yeah.
You see, the difference is at Marks Park, I've been drinking from like 10 o'clock.
So you don't care.
And I leave at 8.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So,
yeah. So well done, Breakout Events.
Breakout Events. You guys are.
You put on a good show.
Don't give us love for the amount of love we give them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We give them lots of love.
I got to sit up there and block P with the mouth breathers while I'm out here on one of the top 80s podcasts in the world talking about your shows. I'd like to at least sit in block B.
Yeah.
P's up there in the nosebleeds. On a budget these days.
Yes.
Putting windows in my house. What are we going to do? Okay. So
Yes.
That's not bad. You would have skipped forward to this part. If you did, let us tell you about the Thomas Anders concert. But no, if you knew, we're going to reward you with something. We love listicles. I talk about it every time I talk about listicles. I talk about how much we love listicles. Okay, so there was one about the cheesiest movies. I found one on a website called the Good Men Project. Okay?
Okay.
The conversation no one else is having. I don't know what else is on the Good Men Project, but they got the 9 worst songs of the 80s.
9 worst.
9 worst. Now listen, these are variable. They go all over the place.
They probably won't be the same as mine.
I have to read you. The writer of this is Cindy Grogan. So even though it's a Good Men Project, Cindy Grogan, writer. Maybe I'm being too linear, but I assume Cindy Grogan is of female persuasion. I have to read you the comments. So starting here, these are the 9 worst songs of the 80s, according to Cindy Grogan.
Why 9, not 10?
Why not 7?
I don't know. 10 is usually a good listicle.
Kokomo by the Beach Boys, 1988, right? Have you by any chance, listen, do yourself a favor. There's a Beach Boys documentary movie on
I have heard.
Disney Plus.
Oh, no, I thought it was on Netflix. Okay. I've heard about it. I've heard it's great.
It's really good. It makes you appreciate the Beach Boys. Like, because really,
I do already.
I mean, we don't appreciate them for the reason that we think they're just a surf band. But I mean, they were like, the Beatles were threatened by them. The freaking Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kokomo. Who doesn't love the Beach Boys? But outside of their famed harmonies and Ode to Sunny Clime, this song is not the Beach Boys. Even if it did reach number 1, if you're stuck on this fictional isle, the only good vibrations will come from several free rounds of mojitos. Okay? I want to go to Kokomo. I love that song.
I really like that song.
What do people shit on that song all the time?
You know, if you don't compare, like if you're going to say, oh, well, it's crap compared to their other songs, maybe the other songs were not from the 80s. It's their 80s sound.
But the Beach Boys hadn't released anything major in years. Remember, it was like a huge deal.
Yes.
That's like, oh, wow, new Beach Boys song.
And I thought it was cool. Maybe I also enjoyed the movie, you know, like there's just a good vibe about it.
Was it Cocktail?
It was Cocktail.
It was Cocktail. You know what the thing, though, is? I cannot think of Kokomo without thinking of Bruce Willis singing Under the Boardwalk.
Oh. Okay.
Wasn't he in the Kokomo? I'm telling you, there's a link between Bruce Willis and Kokomo.
Don't think so.
I'm going to go find this. I'm telling you.
There's a link in your brain.
There's some. No,
is there a link in your brain between Bruce Willis and John Stamos?
Should there be?
That would be because...
There's a link in my brain between John Stamos and Tony Danza because Tony Danza was bonking John Stamos' girlfriend.
Right. Okay. This is like a 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of type vibe. No,
7 degrees of good vibrations.
No, because John Stamos was the drummer on Kokomo.
Oh, yes.
That's why.
Yes.
That's why.
Was he the drummer or was he just the drum in the video?
I don't know.
Okay, we got to get into this next week.
Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you. Okay, so maybe that's what I'm thinking. Because the other thing could have been like, remember on TV in the 80s, between shows they used to play music videos?
Yes.
And maybe on one jaunty summer evening,
yes,
they put Kokomo and Under the Boardwalk together. So maybe that's why.
It's entirely possible.
Okay.
Blame SABC 2.
Another hated song of the 80s. Hanging Tough by the New Kids on the Block.
I mean, I'm on board with that.
I look at the song by New Kids on the Block in the same way I look at the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. A warning of the approaching flood of boy bands that were about to swamp us in the 90s. I blame you, Donnie Wahlberg. Hang tough.
I agree with that one.
Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. The Commodores were great, even if Lionel Richie's particular contribution like Easy weren't quite my thing. When he went solo, Richie's penchant for soft and cheesy took this track to number 1. It combines deeply earnest lyrics, I had a dream, I had an awesome dream, with a super awkward dance break. Say you, say no thanks.
I'm not a big fan of the song, but I am a big fan of a lot of his solo stuff. So I only half agree with that statement.
Okay. Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Survivor caught a huge break when Sylvester Stallone contacted them to write a song for his movie Rocky 3. They thought his message on the answering machine was someone playing a prank, while the driving rhythm is a musical stand-in for Rocky's jabs and crosses in the film. The opening chaka 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 is a hard punch to the ears. I don't know the song. I've Never Been to Me by Charlene.
Oh, I love that song. Really?
I'm going to click a little play here. Oh,
I love that
won't be
song.
able to.
It's very girly. It's a very girly song.
9 to 5 Morning Train by Sheena Easton.
I mean, come on. There's far worse songs than that.
Later in the decade, Sheena Easton would show off her considerable pipes in funky fashion by pairing with Prince on You Got the Look and Sugar Walls. But it all began with a chirpy ode to being a trad wife who stays at home waiting for her hubby to return and take her to the movies, to a restaurant. Girl, at least join a book club.
It's kind of like the fun... It's a fun song from the 80s. It's it's got that like tempo of...
Do you remember when they used it in Seinfeld? When Kramer fakes his way into a job.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I remember Kramer faking his way into a job.
Yeah, Kramer hangs around an office and just gets given a job, so he keeps going back to work every day. No, George
had the job at the sports stadium thing.
George got fired from his job and kept coming back to work and pretended like he never got fired.
Right.
Kramer just fell into...
that vaguely... I need to rewatch Seinfeld.
Oh, no,
that's a 90s discussion, so it doesn't belong on this show.
Did start in the 80s. We Built This City by Starship. It was a slow, weird fall from the acid-dipped Jefferson airplane to Jefferson Starship, and ultimately the more radio-friendly Starship. What's even weirder is that the song was co-written by Elton John's longtime partner, Bernie Taupin. I don't know that.
I don't know if I knew that.
I'm sure I'm not alone in asking, how did he go from Levant to this?
I mean, again, if you're going to compare the earlier music.
I love We Built the City.
I love it.
I love it.
It's very 80s.
The Girl Is Mine by Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
Nothing wrong with it.
I love that song.
Nothing wrong.
Considering how massive Thriller ultimately would be, that this was the first single released is just puzzling. In light of Beat It, Billie Jean, and the title track, you wonder what Michael and Quincy Jones were thinking.
I mean, that's a fair comment, but then whose fault is that the record company released that song first? It's still a good song.
You got Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
You're not going to say no to Paul McCartney.
No.
You know, you can do a duet with him, right? And then it's not worst. I love the song. It's so cheesy, though. Lady in Red by Christopher.
Oh, I hate it. Hate it. And I do like some of his other songs, but I hate that one. With a passion.
Before James Blunt cornered the market on Mawkish with 2004's You're Beautiful, this treacly mess was a go-to song for any occasion that included a slow dance. Even though it was his biggest hit, De Berg admits it's not the best song he ever wrote. On that, he's right.
It's probably the worst. Yeah, okay, so I agree with two. Is the list done?
That's the list done. That's 9.
I agree with 2 of them.
That was quickly.
Yeah.
Some of those comments
there are so many
biting.
worse songs from the 80s. Brass, for example.
So... where do you put Black Lace by Agadoo by Black Lace?
You know, that could have made the list, as much as I kind of like it.
Do you know the lead
It is a bad song.
The lead singer of Agadoo died.
Oh, no, when?
Colin Gibb died age 70s last week. He died the day he retired.
What do you mean?
He passed away just days after he retired.
What has he been doing that he only retired now?
Singing Agadoo friggin' everywhere.
Really?
Oh, cruise ships. Retirement homes, horrible resorts on the Costa del Sol, Sunbest Arena. Singing Agadoo everywhere. Okay, he's been having a good time. But yeah, he announced his retirement, said, I'm done, and then he passed away. I did not know Black Lace won Eurovision.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, no, sorry, they finished 7th. They represented Scotland.
They're Scottish?
Oh, they represent the UK. Yeah, I was like, how do you represent Scotland in Eurovision? Anyway, so they represented the UK in 1979 and finished 7th. And then they went on to make their one-hit wonder, really.
Proper.
Aga-do.
So what did they sing at Eurovision if it wasn't that?
A song called Mary Ann. People say one-hit wonder like it's a terrible thing. I'm like one-hit wonder.
I wish I had a one-hit wonder.
God, I love a one-hit wonder.
One-hit wonder's great.
I mean, that you make a song in the 80s and like 40 odd years later, you got some random podcast still talking about your work.
Yeah.
You know? Can you have a pineapple without pushing a tree? You know? Nonsensical nonsense. Colin and I talked about our funerals and what he'd want. He said he wanted everyone to wear Aga-do shirts or shit shirts, as they were called, to his funeral. So please, everyone welcome. Show up at my funeral. Do they mean
like Hawaiian shirts?
He didn't want flowers. He wanted everyone to give donations to his cats.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
Give donations to cat charities.
Oh.
See, I got you. Okay. I got you in the end.
Really got you.
I got you in the end.
That's where you got me. Yeah.
I got you in the end. Rest in peace, Colin Gibb of Black Lace. Aga-do.
Aga-do indeed.
Aga, rest in peace. Peace. Anyway, Dori.
Yeah. Yes.
Before we get into movies, have you ever funded a Kickstarter?
No, I can't say I have.
So neither have I, but I think I have one, but they've raised the money, so they don't need us. This Kickstarter is, I want to make the first 1980s docu-musical ever created. Help me pitch this groundbreaking documentary to a streaming platform. He needed $20,000. He's raised $44,000. Of 253 backers, there's 16 days to go. If you back him, and there's various tiers of backing.
Yeah.
You get merch, you get stuff.
Do you think it's just going to be a whole lot of clips put together? Or do you think they're going to try and make a story?
I hope so.
Look, I could watch 2 hours of clips from the 80s. I could probably get into that.
So, there's different tiers that you're funding.
Right.
So if you fund for $1, you're in the Pac-Man tier. The Uncle Buck tier is $20. The Jessica Rabbit tier is $50.
Mm-hmm. What do you get for that?
Oh, there's another $50 tier where you get a VHS of the film.
Nice.
That's a nice touch. HR Power, there's merch. You get the single on vinyl. That's a good touch. There's the Moonwalker tier, $400.
Sure.
The Air tier, $1,000. But anyway, he's made his money. He's doubled his money. So we hope
I don't
to see
see why
soon.
Netflix, for example, wouldn't go for it, because they've had lots of success with their 80s stuff, like the Wham documentary, for example.
Beverly Hills Cop, the new one is coming on. I was thinking, should we try get somebody from Beverly Hills Cop onto the show? Judge Reinhold. We're never getting Eddie. We're never getting Eddie Murphy. Judge Reinhold or Bronson Pinchot. Can we dream?
Oh, my God.
Can we dream? Can we dream, Bronson Pinchot?
Maybe we should just try. I mean, we don't really do any work for this show. Should we start?
You know what he'll say to us? Don't be ridiculous. If you get that, welcome to That 80 Show. And every week we do movie recommendations. And, I watched my movie a few weeks ago, so I hope I remember it. But I think Dori will remember hers. Because Dori's memory, phenomenal. I want to tell you something. Saturday was pretty cold. The concert, fortunately, indoor arena. But I saw at some point I took my jacket off. But Dori committed beanie and scarf. And my wife said, shame, Dori looks like she gets very cold. And I said, yet also gets very hot.
Yes, but it was cold in there, actually. The aircon was on. I don't know about where you were sitting.
Up in Block P.
Not. Was it hot up there?
It was take-off jacket.
Yeah, no. I had my jacket off and I put it back on, and my scarf and my beanie, because I was cold. And I don't often get cold.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said to my wife. I said, there's something going on there.
Very unusual.
You're probably sitting under aircon vent.
Maybe.
Okay, movie recommendations.
You had hot air blowing at you from the people around you. That's the problem.
Yes, well played. Well done, Dori.
We did not.
Well played.
Yeah. Paulo, my movie is a movie that we have spoken about on the show so many times outside of the movie feature. Like almost every week, something about this movie comes up. But the reason I want to talk about it today is because I went to go see it on the big screen last week, because plug for Stay Kinnicore. Please give us money. Stay Kinnicore is doing a little thing.
No, Stir Kinnicore, please give your staff money first. Don't close down Stir Kinnicore's.
Yeah,
don't worry about us. Yeah, keep Stir Kinnicore's going first.
They're doing a little thing where they're doing this like retro thing where they're showing older movies at the movies.
Yes.
I don't know about this because I don't read a newspaper. Oh, I mean, who reads a newspaper? I just didn't know that this was a thing. My teenager said, Mom, we have to go to movies. I was like, okay, assuming that we were going to go see the new Garfield movie because my child is the biggest fan of Garfield that I've ever met. No, we went to go see Back to the Future.
The fucking second bit.
On the big screen.
No ways! That's awesome.
And in a couple of weeks' time...
No, don't tell me that.
In a couple of weeks' time, they will be showing Back to the Future 2.
No way. No.
On the big screen.
I've got to get all over this.
So I didn't invite you to the first one because I know.
Yes.
I didn't feel like the argument. I didn't want the argument, okay?
Okay. Good.
But
you would have lost that.
I did say, when Back to the Future 2 is on.
Oh my God, the mind boggles because
we know exactly who's coming with us.
I did go watch Back to the Future 2. No, when did Back to the Future 2 come out? 80?
I saw them both on the big screen originally.
When did 2 come out? 88.
Yeah.
I would have gone to go watch it at the...
At 8 years old.
One I wouldn't have watched.
Yeah.
2 I definitely watched at the
I watched them both at the cinema.
Oh, shit, I cannot wait. That's going to be phenomenal.
Right?
That 80 show, big day out.
And
we'll talk about it for 25 minutes.
And if you want to join us as a fan,
fantastic.
Message us. Let us know. We'll make a thing of it. We'll do a thing.
But that's Back to the Future 2.
Yes, which is coming at the end of June.
Okay, wow.
But right now,
good to know.
And I don't know for how long. Maybe it's already finished. Back to the Future 1 is showing at various cinemas around Joburg.
Digitally remastered or VHS quality?
No, definitely digitally remastered, but the opposite of widescreen. It was very square.
Okay.
Not a widescreen version at all.
Right.
We went on a Tuesday night it was showing, I think, at 8 p.m. Maybe 7:45. We thought, who will be there? Who will be there? It was the two of us and 6 other people who sat all together towards the back of the cinema. They ranged in age from 20-something to 40-something. We don't know who was who.
Probably listeners.
I don't know. I think it was... All we know is when we came out of the movie...
I'm on the Stir Kinnicore website. I'm looking for details.
All we know is when we came out of the movie, they were standing around in a group talking about what happens in Back to the Future 2. They were telling one of the people in the group what happens in Back to the Future 2, which amazed me because I'm like, how have you never seen it? Then again, I met someone on the weekend who has never seen Back to the Future 2.
You have given somebody homework to watch Back to the Future 2.
I have.
Releases, by the way.
Yes.
Back to the Future 1 is still on now, and Back to the Future 2 comes out 28th of June. Not Back to the Future's prices, by the way.
No, but not terrible.
Not terrible.
Doable,
right. Okay.
Just don't buy the snacks because that's what's going to bankrupt you. And that, Stay Kinnicore, is why people aren't going to movies. Make the snacks more affordable.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all.
So it's only showing, they're only doing it at Santon... Rosebank Nouveau.
Rosebank Nouveau, which is where we went. We went to Rosebank Nouveau.
Okay, so let's talk Back to the Future 1. Do we even have to? I mean, people by now know.
No. So here's the thing, right? I have not watched that movie in a very, very long time.
Really?
Very long.
Once a month, I'll watch a Back to the Future.
I know. But
not
I have
3,
not
though.
watched... No, we don't... 3 doesn't exist.
It's not that. It's cowboy stuff.
It's also not from the 80s. We don't talk about it.
Handle cowboy shit.
We don't talk about it.
Okay.
I don't mind cowboy shit, but we don't talk about it.
Cowboy. What's the
Back to the Future 1 and 2 is one movie.
Yellowwood?
Yeah, I don't never watched that.
Shit.
Anyway.
Fuck cowboys.
Don't.
Even if they did a Cowboys, Knockos Cowboys, I wouldn't watch. I love Knockos.
Okay, you need to calm down.
Fuck cowboys. Fucking horses. Boots.
I hadn't watched it in a very long time. Of course, I know the story, but there were many little things that I'd forgotten. But the coolest thing about watching it on the big screen, first of all, you realize that Doc's the best character. Doc is the best character. Like, Michael J. Fox might be the lead.
It was his birthday this week.
Okay.
Early this week, yeah.
might be the lead, but he is not the person who literally makes that movie what it is.
So, I mean, if you watch anything about the making of Back to the Future,
Yeah.
the only reason Marty McFly's character became so big is because of Michael J. Fox. Doc Brown was always going to have the big role, and then the Marty McFly was played by Eric Stoltz originally.
Yes.
And then they got Michael J. Fox. They were like, well, shit, we got Michael J. Fox. We got to blow this character up, right?
What was he big in from before?
He was in Family Ties.
Oh, from Family Ties.
Yeah.
Was it Family Ties first? Okay.
And he was shooting. He was interstellar in Family Ties at the time. So he had to shoot Family Ties, wrap it, and then they drove him across town to shoot Back to the Future all night. That's why so much of Back to the Future is set at night.
Right.
To shoot Back to the Future all night.
Yes.
And then without sleep, drive him back to shoot Family Ties. Netflix is the movies that made us. Watch it. Good.
Okay. I
Good.
haven't got around to
It's
doing
good.
that.
Watch the Back to the Future ones. Good. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Great movie. You know what's going to happen, even though we knew it was going to happen in that scene where they are trying to connect everything to get the lightning strike. My kid and I were on the edge of our seat. We were literally yelling at the screen going, come on, come on. We were in it. We were in it. We were feeling all the anxiety. It was such a great night. It was such a great experience.
But even after that, then they look at the photo and the brother and sister are still disappearing.
Yes.
What the fuck did we do?
Yeah. The only thing that bugged me, and there's nothing we can do about it, is that it's a different woman from 1 to 2, the one who he marries.
So in
Nothing we
2,
can do.
Elizabeth Shue is his girlfriend.
Yes, and in 1, I don't even remember who it was.
No, she's not.
And I don't even remember the story. I remember you told it on the show once as to why they changed it. But I will move on with life and let it go. And I cannot wait to go and see number 2. By the way, my kid's favorite is number 2 as well. And their exact words are, it's the only one where they actually go back to the future.
Thank you.
I'm like, no.
It's not called back to the present. Because they only ever go to the present, which is
but
the
it's
future,
the future
of the past.
from the past.
But it's still his present. They do not go to the future.
As we've discussed, it was supposed to be one long movie.
Okay, but
that's
not,
why.
Okay, but one doesn't make sense.
Anyway, I enjoyed it very much. After I've watched number 2 on the big screen, I will report back to see if I've changed my mind.
Okay, well, we're going to do that
about which
together.
one.
That 80
is
show,
my favorite.
That 80 show, big day out.
Yeah, we'll figure out when. We'll put it on our Facebook page. We'll figure out when we are both available.
Yes.
To go do this.
Yes.
I do recommend a Tuesday night.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty at Rosebank Mall because. Boy, was it quiet.
Listen, there's a Euro soccer tournament coming up. I'm pretty much booked up, but I will make time to go.
We'll have to just coordinate it with your soccer schedule.
Yeah, Back to the Future on the big screen.
Yeah.
That's going to be a phenomenal treat. It's so funny when you do watch Back to the Future 1 and 2 back to back, you realize how much they changed from 1 to 2.
Yes.
If there's time, you don't even think, you think it's the same thing. When you go from 1, because 1 finishes and 2 starts exactly the same scene.
Yeah.
They've changed.
Well, I mean, it's a different woman.
It's a different woman. Michael J. Fox has facial hair.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm watching Teen Wolf. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's great. I support that. I got a movie, I told you, I kind of stumbled into 1984. I thought it was a bad movie, but this was really critically acclaimed, this film. But I think it's quite tainted by the movies of this type that have followed subsequently. Okay. Specifically, California Man / Encino Man.
Okay.
So my movie's from 1984. It's called Iceman. Okay. Starring...
I'm going to need more, yeah?
Timothy Hutton, Lindsay Cross, and John Lone.
I loved this movie.
There, you know what I'm talking about.
I do know. As soon as you said Timothy Hutton, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
So...
Oh, I love that.
It's a sci-fi movie, kind of very much like, what's that other one with not Kurt Russell? Is it Kurt Russell? Anyway, there's an expedition in the Antarctic.
Of course.
And they find a caveman.
Yes.
Can we still call him caveman? Surely we can still call a caveman caveman.
Men have caves these days. Why can't they be cavemen?
I mean, are we being PC about cavemen?
No.
I can call them caveman.
Yes.
Right? Okay, cool.
Right.
So they find this caveman frozen in ice.
Right.
So, of course, now, what do we do? So everyone's got different things. People want to say, well, Could he? And they start thawing him, and they realize he's not dead. And they go, well, what do we do? Do we do experiments? Or some of the scientists want to go, well, do we find out why he didn't get frozen to death? Do we, whatever. Anyway, so he starts unthawing through what they're doing. And then they go, okay, well, with shock, we got to put him in this like a manufactured world, like an aquarium.
Yes.
Caveman. Aquarium.
Cavarium.
Cavarium. And now he's freaked out. He's discovered what the fuck's going on. And it's this whole, it starts out as a science. Like I say, I never watched this movie. And I thought it's going to be nonsense like California Man.
Yeah.
Where they're going to shave him and take him to high school.
Oh, no.
Okay, no.
No.
And movies like California Man like mess you up. Because when you go back to watch this movie's got so much heart, right? Like, what do you remember about it?
I don't remember much, but I remember loving it.
Yeah.
I do remember loving it.
Like, I mean, they were saying that Timothy Hutton for this, like, Oscar-worthy performance.
Yes.
They were legitimately saying, like, Oscar-worthy performance. Because he couldn't speak. He just had the grunts.
Yes.
They discover the names. The scientist goes in and they find a bond. They bring a woman in. He grabs her breasts. 80s.
It's the 80s.
She's only there to be fondled. And they kind of like have a kinship. So the caveman trusts this particular one scientist. Then the scientist, because he keeps saying a certain thing. And the one day a helicopter flies over and the caveman loses his shit. Right? And starts saying this word. And they're like, what the fuck? Why did he freak out like that? And they find a local Inuit tribe. And they speak to the Inuit tribe, and the Inuit tribe says, well, that word sounds very similar to our word for bird, big bird. So then they like go through all these different stories about the Inuits, and what they discover is this caveman. Now, you got to think about this caveman. He doesn't know he's been dead for all these years.
No.
He fell asleep, and now he wakes up like this.
Yes, and there's all these strange people.
Yeah. He does not know.
Did they create a world that would have been familiar to him?
Yeah, they put him in, so what it was
like a natural museum type setting.
So there's actually a word for it, because what they do in this particular like research facility is when they displace like polar bears and animals, they put them in this place so that they can kind of like acclimatize before they move them out of there, you know. And so they put him in there, but he starts freaking out because he realizes the rocks aren't rocks, and then he starts following pipes, and he tries to get himself out because he realizes
it's obviously outdoors, or else he wouldn't have seen the helicopter.
No, it's indoors, but the helicopter still, it's got like a grate. So he sees
okay.
So then they say, no, well, what must have happened is that in their stories, because he's also an artist.
Yes.
So like draws the pictures, and he was actually sacrificing his food was running out, right, for his tribe. So he was sacrificing himself to the big bird to save his family and his tribe. And then that's when he got frozen. His whole family and tribe, they die anyway. So now to close off his arc, he eventually, the scientist eventually lets him out.
Yeah.
To go find the big bird, and he jumps on the helicopter, and then they're like, oh no, we're going to save you. And he just lets go, but he's got the biggest smile on his face because now he's completed his
that sounds familiar.
Massive mission.
Yo.
Okay. And
so dramatic.
He dies, obviously.
Thanks for the spoiler.
Yeah. He wouldn't have. Okay. Then they take him down, they shave him, they send him to high school.
No.
Roger Ebert called it spellbinding storytelling. It begins with such a simple premise and creates such a genuinely intriguing situation that we're not just entertained, we're drawn into the argument of using Charlie as a specimen or a man. Hey?
Deep.
Caught in the middle is John Lone as the Neanderthal, a sensitive, wry performance, beautiful photography. So, sorry, Timothy Hutton was the scientist. John Lone was the Iceman, the caveman. So that's my movie recommendation this week.
And where can we watch it?
Iceman. It's around. It's on some streamers. I didn't see it on YouTube anywhere.
Okay.
Which means it's good.
Yes.
Because we normally know that.
Yeah.
But even if you don't watch it, we're going to put the trailer up. Iceman.
I definitely saw it in its time.
It's not California Man.
No.
And thank God for that. You know? So I think that's... Both our movies involve some level of time travel.
Indeed.
Right?
Funny how there's always some sort of overlap.
almost as if we're doing any work. We kill people on the show often.
Yes, unfortunately. Not usually unintentionally.
No, we don't. We just assume. You lived hard in the 80s. There's no way you're still alive now, right? Guess who got killed?
For legit?
No, this is in Sri Lanka. News went out that David Hasselhoff had died.
Really?
Yeah. Big story. David Hasselhoff, news that he had died.
Why?
Circulated around Sri Lanka.
How big is he in Sri Lanka?
So claims were circulating on social media in Sri Lanka suggest that actor David Hasselhoff... But David Hasselhoff is big everywhere. He was Knight Rider. He was Mitch Buchanan. He's massive everywhere.
Okay.
That David Hasselhoff had passed away. The claims were accompanied by an image of the actor and false information linking him to the TV show Robin Hood. So it was just a big nonsense story about David Hasselhoff dying. Now, I read this. I was like, oh, David Hasselhoff? No, okay, for Sri Lanka. All right, he didn't die. So I go onto his Instagram. See, what has David Hasselhoff been up to?
Because we haven't spoken about him for a while.
Last 2 posts.
Hi, David Hasselhoff here. I'll be at Donald Insel, open air, May 26th. I'm headlining at Danube Island. Donald Insel, open air, 26th. Be there.
So that's David Hasselhoff.
He's sounding rather Biden-like.
About a month ago. Look at this Instagram. Look at his jacket. Just press play on the middle one there. Right? So what happens, and I hate doing podcasts where we watch videos all day and talk about it, but basically it's David Hasselhoff standing by a swimming pool with a leather jacket on with a Diamante like falcon on the back.
Yeah.
And
Eagle, falcon.
Eagle. We'll put this that 80 shows.
Bird of prey.
And then he turns around fast.
Very dramatic.
And then haben, whatever he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. And then in another video, this is more recent, that is a concert posted 2 days ago. Great time in Doneasel. Even though it rained, I was not feeling 100%, but the audience was incredible. See you in Vienna, September 19th. Big gap. But he's performing. He's performing in Doneasel. There's a lot of people.
Where is that?
I assume Doneasel. Where's Doneasel?
Sounds
German.
Danish.
Indeed sounds Danish. So David Hasselhoff is not dead. He's in Doneasel.
Okay.
Performing in his leather jacket and sensible shoes. Again, man in his 70s. Ice the hip.
Do you think he would come here again? If he did, we would be on top of that.
Quicker than Patricia Lewis would.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we would get there. I want to finish off. We often on that 80s show look at things from the 80s that we could buy. And the 80s was kind of the first boom of home fitness, right?
Right.
And there were home fitness videos, but there were also lots of home fitness, like weird shit. Like weird exercise bikes and like ab flexes. And my parents had the weirdest. My dad had a sweatsuit.
Sweatsuit?
You ever see that thing?
No.
Shit, man. Like, it was so, this thing had so many things. So it was mostly like this suit made to make you sweat. So the theory, I suppose, is you work out in the suit, you sweat. It makes you sweat.
Did it look like a diving suit, maybe?
It looked like a tracksuit made out of tinfoil. Okay. Right? So it was like a tracksuit, like a zip, and a tracksuit made of tinfoil.
Wow, okay.
I do remember there was like another thing like he had you'd wear underneath it that like pulsed your muscles. That's shit that they believed in the 80s. So it's like a little electric pulse to your muscles.
But they do that now. It's body
tech.
Body tech, right?
So I want to see a revival in this fantastic little piece of workout gear called air shorts, inflatable exercise shorts. Now, Dori is going to look at the picture, but I'm going to describe it to you. It's basically pants that you put on with a whole bunch of air pockets.
It looks like you're wearing a lilo.
Or multiple packets of sausages. So air shorts, what they claim, is the new exercise phenomenon for men and for women. Wear while doing your morning sit-ups, housework, etc. Great for exercise and for shedding body moisture. Inflate to fit, give support and massage at waist. Hips, thighs, buttocks, one size fits all, only $7. So what I assume, because I couldn't find anything on how the stuff worked.
Yeah.
So
I still don't understand what it does.
So what I assume, you put it on, you
Right.
inflate it, and you sweat.
And you roll around on it.
No,
It's
you just do your stuff.
but
You're supposed to sweat.
But if you had to sit down, for example, to do sit-ups, you're going to be sitting on these rolls of air.
And how
Like when you have like a roller thing, you know, that hurts. That really hurts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's massaging you somehow
Is it
and
massaging
making you
the
sweat.
gravy out? Like, I don't understand what it's doing.
I don't know what it's doing, apart from making you look really silly.
Fuck, I would wear air shorts to the next Thomas Anders concert.
And you would rock
I'd wear
them.
an entire air
Those are
suit.
gold. Those look good in gold.
They are gold. But like I say, listen, if you're a person who likes wearing Frankfurter-looking clothing, then this could be the solution for you. In the one photo, the man and woman, they're doing side bends.
Mm.
It looks like you also blow it up with your mouth, to be honest with you. Now, I mean, let's go back to 1980s, nice suburban home. Mom and dad are settling into the air shorts for the day. Oh dear, dad has forgot to inflate. Mom down on her knees blowing up dad's air shorts. I mean, that's an awkward conversation. I would
For the child to walk in on, yes.
I would rather walk in on fellatio. Cheers, God. I fucking do not want to see grown people blowing up pants. Oh, God. We love the 80s so much for this exact reason. Oh, in no way did we spend way too much time talking about Thomas Anders. A fair amount given to Kurt Darren, the equal amount of time, as they did on the lineup for the show. This has been That 80 Show. Everything we spoke about today, you can find That 80 Show essay on Facebook. Only Facebook, not Instagram, not X, not LinkedIn, not MySpace.
Not TikTok.
Not TikTok. Maybe in your phone book. You should put an ad in the phone book. I think the Yellow Pages pays you to put ads. I'm telling you.
The Yellow Page is still a thing.
Once a year, I get the Yellow Pages.
Oh, we get nothing.
I get it. Straight in the bin. What the fuck are you?
I mean, it's a good doorstop. Actually, it's kind of thin now. Maybe not.
No, it's super thin.
Yeah.
It's super thin. Like, you will be after wearing air pants. Inflatable. Oh, and so that was I think Air Pants was the big brand. These are inflatable exercise shorts.
Right.
I think Air Pants was the Mama Bajamba. Dori, favorite thing you heard this week?
Air pants, for sure. It has to be air pants.
David Hasselhoff in Air Pants.
Yeah.
AI. I want an image of David Hasselhoff in Air Pants. Still will not be the weirdest thing we're going to catch David Hasselhoff doing this month. Right? Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.